Oh, baby, baby. Oops, I did it.
Aloha! Welcome to the Blight Time channel. Today we're reacting to an album. Watch the wheel.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out. I would really like to do Hawaii Part 2. I think you're really gonna like that, and I've been trying to kind of withhold what that is, kind of intentionally. But yeah, I'd like to do that one. Also, Quest would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we
so
do have
let's-
Tribe Called Quest on there now. Okay,
And Corey Feldman.
and Corey Feldman.
Oh.
Hey, that might be the first time we actually like. Besides, I think we did it for Bruno Mars, but this one you specifically called it out and it happened.
Okay.
Let's
Alright.
go.
Wow.
That was a good wheel.
Today we are listening to Hawaii Part 2 by Miracle Musical. Correct?
Yes.
Cool. I didn't even have to look at my other monitor. I'm confident. But I'm going to stop talking. So,
Okay. So this is my pick. First one in a while, factually.
like 6 in a row or something.
Yeah. So we're back on my train. I have been very careful not to give you an inch on what this album is. I went into this album completely in the dark, and I think that might be the best way to go into it, factually. I will say just some general background thingies. So if you go on their page right now, they have 2 things on there. There's this album and a single. Both of them came out in 2012. The single came out in the summer of 2012, and that it's kind of like the Heart series that Kendrick does, where there's a lot of samples and stuff that's on this album. But it was basically if you pre-ordered the album, then you would get this little, just a little sampler of what's going on.
Bonus.
And I actually just listened to that for the first time today, and it's pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know, not a whole lot to say about it, but this album came out on the 12th of December 2012 at 12:12 and 12 seconds a.m. So
Fashionably late.
yeah, fashionably late, but intentionally so, I think.
Of course.
But a little bit of, if you don't remember or if you are not aware, that was the day that the world was supposed to end on 2012. So, according to the Mayan calendar. So,
It probably has ended, to be honest.
I mean,
It's just been downhill since then. Let's be honest.
yeah, debatable. But without further ado, I think we'll just jump into it. We'll do the first 2 songs, Introduction to the Snow and Isle Unto Thyself.
This is going to be an overture.
Yeah.
You'll live forever tonight.
Hoping the piano stays constant.
I won't say.
Nothing? Okay. Wasn't expecting a semi-Christmas carol.
Yeah, it kind of bounces all over the place.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Long but forgotten. Oh Lord,
right, I'm gonna cut it a little bit early because these first 4 songs flow into each other. So we'll get that transition into Black Rainbows. But those were the first 2 tracks. What'd you think?
Very interesting. I actually think I like track 1 more than track 2.
I would agree.
I don't know why, since track 1 is obviously just an intro. But I'm a texture person, and the filter they used on the vocals when he was singing in the older 50s, 60s style, with the clean piano, very nice texturing. Messed with it, gave a cool kind of interesting vibe rather than just a super clean, like more clean than like what the second track is, where everything's very clean and 100% there. There's no filtering going on. There's like a vocoder that comes in, but it's still very clean. I like the second half of track 2, where the production kind of expanded a little bit more. The vocoder stuff I found it weird until production switched, but that was just a gateway into it.
Yeah.
But even like the Hawaiian inspired, obviously not hand drums that were being played were pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a simulation of Hawaii instead of the real thing.
I forget how they describe it. It's like life and death through the eyes of a hologram or something. I don't know. It's like,
That's pretty accurate, I would say.
yeah. So yeah, we'll just jump right into the Black Rainbows.
Keep her going.
We'll just see how kind of drastic it'll shift.
Now it's a video game level.
Yep.
This whole album sounds like what Rainbow Road looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
I see the praised rays. You see me smile. You know the joy beyond above has been here a while. I draw the rainbows.
Okay. Cut it off just in time.
I could hear it going.
I know.
Wasn't stopping at all.
All right. Track 3, Black Rainbows.
That one's the best one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
So yeah, I think they succeeded in everything they were trying on track 2 better. Like ever evolving place, but backbone strong. Every instrument adds and isn't just like a quirk to be like, look at how many different things we can put in this song. The vocal planning was really cool. There's some really cool production things happening where they kind of open up the song more to make subtle shifts and make it seem more like grand than it really is, which I mess with in a lot of music that does that. Always seems just more important. Fun. Could be a video game soundtrack, like multiple levels. You got the temple level, the jungle level, freaking Rainbow Road level.
There actually is a video game for this album. It came out in 2014, and I don't think you can play it anymore, but it was like a little flash game.
Oh yeah, you definitely can't play it anymore if it's flash game.
Yeah. I think it's called Labyrinth, named after track 8. But yeah, I know they released like a 8-bit album of this album that was the video game soundtrack. So most of these games, or most of these songs, exist in 8-bit form for the game. So
Sounds like they could work. I
Yeah.
like them in regular form too,
yeah.
but yeah, that one was definitely a success on all levels.
And I'll leave you off with a little bit of an Easter egg, because I assume you don't speak Hawaiian.
No, I do not.
Okay. What
I think I'm
the
the farthest away from Hawaii as I can be.
that the chant that the guy's doing, he's repeating all of the colors of the rainbow in Hawaiian, and then ele means black, So it's Black Rainbow.
Literally Black Rainbow.
Yeah, it's a little Easter
Easter
egg. So we'll move on to track 4, White Ball.
This is the Mario 64 castle.
Yeah, it is.
In some effortless place, bound by delicate tread, saving no face. On my staircase,
It doesn't transition?
This one doesn't.
What?
Yeah, I think
crazy.
that we're done with the transitioning into each other.
Darn.
I believe so. But that is track 4, White Ball.
White Ball. Not my favorite,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around the vocalists and why I'm not liking them. But I
This is a
can't
different
find
one.
Why? Is it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first 3 are Joe Hawley, and he is kind of the one that put this all together, and he's going to be the
Okay.
main vocalist for most of the rest of this. Switches off here to someone else who was in his other band, Tally Hall, and another female artist. So
Okay, that makes sense. Because I like the vocals in track 1 a lot. Because I actually thought it was a sample. Because it was very convincing. This one just kind of felt more like musical-y / parody song-ish.
yeah,
It sounded like they didn't really find their voice yet. Which, I mean, I'm not a critic of voices at all. Like vocal ability. I'm just like really interesting vocalists usually. There's certain things that catch my ear. And like that just reminded me of like more musical stuff, like maybe a background singer who doesn't like take the main vocal usually.
yes,
It just felt a little off.
that's
but-
what he did. He was a background singer. I don't even think he does music now.
Okay.
I believe looking into him, I think he's a doctor. Like he works in like the emergency room now. So like
Interesting.
Tally Hall doesn't exist anymore. They've all like
Okay.
completely done different things. So yeah, but he came back to hop on this track. And it's not my favorite either, just for
Yeah.
the record.
But strings felt nice on the back end. They felt a little plastic at first because I think they only used those for a while. But bass line's killer. Drum kit was cool. I like the flowing nature of every song. There's a set backbone, but there's little things that change the flow of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, not my thing, but I can look at certain elements and appreciate them.
Yeah. Well, let's just jump into the second most popular song on the record, Murders.
Moide.
Moides.
he was in the forest looking to see the trees, but none were there. He found a girl, she found the Earl King, and the fountain of the infinite mirror. Tree falling, no one would hear. Shadow, nobody there. Murders of murderers living in fear. I was in the forest looking to see the trees burn.
Moides.
Moides.
What'd you think?
Nice. every time they do the piano, I like it.
Mhm.
They're very good at that. And they did the switcheroo from track one, putting the noise filter on the piano and keeping the vocals clean, which is even better than track one. A noise piano is different than like doing it with a guitar.
Mhm.
I think it strikes better for kind of like I kind of got like a freaking running through the forest kind of vibes with this one, kind of a little ominous.
Mhm.
It did kind of like straddle the line of like a 21 Pilots theater kid type aesthetic at some points where I'm like, ooh, don't go too far here. But I think they balanced it out nicely. Production on the back end's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the little I was initially thinking underwater, but kind of like recorded in like the other room kind
Mhm.
of sound, which was nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate the production play all over the place.
Mhm.
I like it. Keeps you interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just my least favorite every track is like the vocals, but
Okay.
I mean, production keeps me in enough where it
Mhm.
doesn't bother me enough.
Okay. I can get that. He's not like the best vocalist.
Mhm.
I think nowadays Joe Hawley makes hip hop records or record.
Interesting.
Yeah. He released one last year called Joe Hawley, Joe Hawley. So I haven't listened to it. Don't know if it's any good.
I can picture what it sounds like in my head, and I'd rather have him doing this.
I
Not-
would too.
Not to judge him off of that, but I've heard a lot of hip hop artists back in this era when I was like 13 of the people that also kind of tried to do hip hop at the time,
Mhm.
and they have not aged well at all.
No,
But maybe he's kind of innovated with the times.
I'm not sure because I'm pretty sure Tally Hall is closer to this, and they released stuff. I think they released an album in 2005 and then in 2011, and then they went on
Okay.
indefinite hiatus. And then he made this, and then he just kind of like floated around for a while, and then started doing this hip hop thing last year.
Because I like the kind of pop punk inspired, like this song especially. I kind of got 21 Pilots, slight My Chemical Romance, not a lot,
Yeah,
a little bit of an edge to it.
Yeah.
Which I can dig. I think that fits him well with his vocal style, even though it's not my preferred vocal style.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm not sure if they would. I think he did an AMA a couple years ago, and someone asked him if he would do a Hawaii Part 1 or 3, and he said no, but he might make something under the Miracle Musical moniker again. So we'll see. But next up, it's Japanese, but it translates to, I believe, Space Station Level 7. So there you go.
you have to play with fonts to get this title to show up in the video.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about that.
There's default ones, will be fine.
Yeah, well, okay.
Sounds like a song I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, but it sounds very familiar.
I don't know. Just sounds, sounds nostalgic.
That's a straight Pokemon like horn riff right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like straight out of like Victory Road on one of the games.
Classic Fade Out.
Never gets old.
Absolutely not. All right. That is Space Station Level 7.
Mhm. Very nice. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that one up there with Black Rainbows as top tracks.
Oh, okay.
Initially, everything worked again. There was
Mhm.
always one element that would take me out of a song. Like probably a majority of the ones we listened to actually,
Mhm.
but like track one, Black Rainbows, and this one, kind of like everything for me is just working.
Okay.
The kind of vocoder thing is cool.
Mhm.
It's not tacky. It fits. It's a very nostalgic song. I love the backing vocals and the. I'm just gonna call them Pokemon horns. 'Cause that's the only thing I can relate them to.
Yeah.
It all worked very well. It's
Mhm.
got that holographic looking into like a Hawaii, I guess,
Yeah.
like very close but not quite kind of feel.
Hmm.
I think this would be the song that would like encapsulate the album cover.
Yeah. I mean, probably.
Mhm.
This is another vocal switch up. So
Mm.
this was not Joe Hawley. I
I did
think.
not even notice.
Yeah. Well, his voice is pretty covered up. I don't remember exactly who. I don't think they were in Tally Hall, but yeah, switching it up. Did you notice they switched the lyrics or switched the language?
I did.
Yeah, I thought that
I
was
was gonna say
interesting.
lyrics. I couldn't understand any of the lyrics.
Yeah,
'cause
I
they're in
know.
Japanese.
They switched the language from Japanese to French, and
Oh,
yeah, so keep that in mind. That will be very important going forward.
this will be very important contextually within the plot.
Yes.
I didn't notice the French shift. I think I got lost in production in the last half.
Yeah, I think it's the last verse. They switch to French and then it goes back to Japanese for the chorus. Just a little switch. I didn't notice that until I looked up the lyrics. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's fun.
You think you'd be able to tell, but it's very subtle.
It is.
French is very French.
I notice it now. It's like the first thing I notice, but didn't notice it until I looked it up. Next up, we have track 7, The Mind Electric, which I'm going to say is very Damn inspired.
Long song.
Yes, very long song.
Is it because it's backwards?
Yeah.
The amount of times this guy will say, "This is like damn," when anything is backwards has been off the charts in the past couple months.
It's funny to do that.
Yeah. I was wondering when they were gonna go back forwards.
Yeah. It's like an anagram where it's the same backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoop.
Spiraling down my majesty, I beg of thee, have mercy on me. I was just a boy, you see. I plead of thee, have sympathy for me. Calming if you get it right.
The Mind Electric.
Mind. Oh, I thought it was electric.
Yes.
I had dyslexia for a little bit. I thought it was eclectic, but
Oh, not quite.
not quite. That is the best song on the album.
I knew it. After I heard that song, like started getting into this, I'm like, baby's gonna love this. I knew it.
Yep. This is the centerpiece, the grand artistic statement. It's takes every kind of it's not because it's like extremely different. It just takes everything that the album's done and made it like used different.
Mhm.
Usually you'd have a backbone, and then every element would add, but not jar you or be like, "Whoa, why did that switch so drastically?"
Mhm.
This song does it, but it intentionally does it so drastically where you're forced to kind of turn one way and then turn another way and then turn another way.
Mhm.
But I like the little backwards beginning, then getting mirrored. Um, yeah, it, this album gives me major like, is it synesthesia, where you like see colors through the music or something?
Yeah, I think it's synesthesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting more than that here. I'm just getting like complete like pictures, scenes, music videos, whatever, just for every single song. And the song is the strongest once again.
Mhm.
Just a lot of good themes here: mental illness, disassociation, but instrumentation really plays into it.
Mhm.
You have the harsh piano that kind of starts the mirroring, even though it is off and it's not like it's a drastic shift like you would get in a beat change in hip hop.
Mhm.
It's a gradual like, oh, that piano note is jarring, and then you're able to actually witness the song
Yeah.
kind of slowly go backwards, which is cool.
Mhm.
Something different. But yeah, instrumentation's fantastic. Vocals, I really liked the over dramatic kind of musical tone of. I think it worked the best. Didn't feel out of place because the track felt like a movie.
Yeah. This one's one of the funner ones to go back to and like listen to a lot because there's going to be things that you pick out in the backward section that's like, oh hey, that's from the forward section. It's kind of fun. Also, side note, if you guys have listened to the Cole Kushna keynote thing about I forgot what exactly it is, but there's like a number that's like,
Yeah, the golden ratio.
yeah, the golden
It's
ratio.
like 1 point. I should know this.
It's like
1.16
60%.
or 6.1
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
This song doesn't follow that. This was the first song I checked when I listened to that podcast. I was like, I wonder, because
There wasn't really like a moment where you feel it. Usually it's very like bam. This one, when I heard the piano note, I looked at the time and I'm like, oh, we're still like in the 3-minute section. Usually that would happen around probably like 4:15, 4:20.
yeah, I think that I thought it was like going to be the backwards of it, so it would have been
'Cause
like
it's reversed.
40%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
but I think it's like in between that number and halfway, so it's like a weird in between.
It's a weird ratio and it shows up all over the place.
Yeah.
But
But let's just transition to Labyrinth.
I don't remember how the last song ended.
It was just the slow piano and repeating a refrain.
This is my life be like, wow.
Yeah. I'm just gonna spoil it now. This is my least favorite song.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
This is the most 2012 song I've ever heard, though. This is peak internet at that time.
That is true. Yeah. Labyrinth.
Transition?
A little bit.
Yeah. That is the most dated song I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
That I immediately just flash back to 2012, where like 2012 YouTube, like this was the sound
Yeah.
that I remember.
It's
Not to say I hated it.
okay.
I just could not get out of that headspace where it's like, whoa, you just teleported me back a
Yeah.
while. I will say the ending's my favorite part with the synth keyboard, whatever's going on there, and then the vocals kind of echoing off. That got the sentiment of the track across better than the 2 and 15 seconds before it.
Yeah.
Verses weren't too bad. The chorus was completely out of place. It sounded like an Eminem song from like probably like 2014 onward, when he would just get like a guest singer and it would completely throw the vibe of the track off and it wouldn't match at all.
Yeah.
But I like the separate elements, but together I don't like it.
Yeah. Especially following the Mind Electric, which
Yeah,
is one
that
of my
one-
favorites.
That one showed me like musical like grace. Like that was like, well, I think I'm just gonna keep saying it. That's the centerpiece. That's like everything coming together in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Yeah, I think the Mind Electric is probably my second favorite song on the record.
Okay.
And then jumping into Labyrinth, a little rough.
Yeah.
But this marks the last vocal change. This is not Joe Hawley rapping. I don't.
I assumed his voice was a lot deeper.
Yes. I assumed that it was Joe Hawley because he does rap now, but it is not. I don't remember who it is, but I had not heard of them before. So, yeah, quite another dramatic shift. I will say that it does fit with the story, which I will kind of go over at the end, because I think even if you read the lyrics, you wouldn't be able to get it anyways. There's just too much weirdo stuff going on lyrically to
Weirdo
get the
stuff.
story across. So
13-year-old me would have loved this song on record.
Oh,
So,
okay. So there's some merits to it then.
Yes, if you want to take that as a compliment.
Well, maybe we should go ask your 13-year-old self ourselves with our time machine.
Wow,
Yeah,
we're so good at segues here.
thanks.
Fade out.
It's Time Machine.
Time machine.
What'd you think of Time Machine?
That did take me back to 2012, and I'm still there, and I can't escape. I am stuck. He helped me.
Yeah, that's my.
I did like this one better though.
Okay. Yeah, I like this one. This is my second least favorite song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've been transported to Nyan Cat era, and I just can't leave. And I don't think it's me, like being in that mindset. I think it's just the sound of it is just so incredibly stuck in that
Mhm.
era.
Yes, I would agree. But we're out of that after this, I swear.
Okay.
I think my least favorite part of the song is when they cut it down and it slows down and then it just picks back up right back where it was and they don't change anything. It's like, why?
Yeah, that wasn't really a re-entry. It was just kind of there again.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, okay, what was the point of that?
yeah, that one was probably the least dynamic
Mhm.
compared to the rest of them, just because the rest of them seem to have an element of randomness that would come in and change it up and would make the track better. This one kind of felt a little static.
Yeah. It's fine, whatever. Let's just move on to Stranded Lullaby.
Okay. fade out
Every time now.
every time.
All right, that's Stranded Lullaby.
Yeah, I mess with that one.
Yeah.
A little bit of a return to form. Yeah, instrumental's really nice. The harp or whatever that was added a lot. That subtle backing vocals that came in really helped.
Mm.
Even though they only did it like once or twice, I think it made it even more important. Yeah, I mess with that one.
Yeah. That one's like probably right in the middle for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Definitely not my favorite, but I don't really hate it. But we'll waste no time. This next one is the longest song and the most popular song. Dream Sweet
And the last song.
and the last song. Very true. Dream Sweet in C major.
Get it?
No.
Because it's like C major.
Oh, like the chord.
Yeah, it's like a little Easter egg.
Oh, that is an Easter egg. I never even noticed that. That's crazy.
This is the song at the beginning too. That's another Easter egg for
That's
you.
another little Easter egg. Yeah. You figured it out.
A siren sounds like the goddess who promises endless apologies of paradise. And only she can make it right. So things are different tonight. We'll go together in flight from the galaxy
This is French.
This is French. And it's the same verse
So-
from the other one. Yeah.
We put the overture at the end of the album instead of the beginning.
Yes. It's a little Easter egg they put in. Dream Suite in C major.
C major.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I think the Mind Electric still takes it
Okay.
as the long song opus. That did feel like just a combination of everything we heard
Hmm.
jam packed into 7 minutes. I think it actually could have gone longer. It could have gone 8 or 9
Yeah.
because there was a lot of ideas that I think could have gone for 20 or 30 seconds longer. But yeah,
I agree. That's my favorite song.
okay.
And a surprise twist of fate, the two longest songs on the record are
The
my
person
favorite
that likes
songs.
3-minute songs, and if it's longer, he hates it. Likes the 7-minute song the best.
Yes.
Although this was literally just like an ADHD retelling of the album, so
Yes. I don't know. I really dig that song a lot. I like all the different parts. I don't know, just fun. It's a nice song. Sumi. It's the most popular song, so no one's going to. But
that's true. It is.
yeah. Yeah. What'd you think of the album overall?
A very interesting. I want to say time capsule. Yeah, I'm gonna say time capsule. This feels like an indie game that has a cult following, where it's like somewhat left of mainstream, but it's a very quality product, and you get a personal feel to it.
Mhm.
Even though it's not like a quote unquote personal album where it's very stripped back. There's a lot of different instruments and stuff going on here, but it still has like that personal, like homemade, not budget, but not like AAA like sound, like design and layout. It still has a very like made with love kind of feel.
Mhm.
And it does fit with the time period incredibly well. It just unfortunately did not get out of it at all. Um, I could relate it to like an indie game, or like Kind of Fun did the same thing around the same time,
Yeah.
except they went a very pop direction with what was popular in the mainstream. This seemed to take a lot of inspiration from internet culture and what was kind of bubbling in
Mhm.
the independent music scene at that time.
Yes.
Before everybody could make an album in their basement with no like equipment or anything. This felt like something that was a precursor to that.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, these guys were pretty popular on the internet. I think
Mhm.
Tally Hall was, I think they're a college band from Ann Arbor. But they had like a YouTube show, or like a little sketch show they did, kind of like Odd Future, where
Mm.
they had an album and then they had this internet show, which I haven't seen any of it. I have not gotten into Tally Hall at all. But yeah, I really dig this. I think overall, I think Act 2 is my favorite. That's From Murders to the Mind Electric, and then Act 1, and then 3. But I don't know. I'll
I
do
would
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll try to like walk you through the story a little bit, and I think everything will make a little bit more sense once I do that. Because everything makes more sense now that I know what happens. But basically, start off, it's a sailor. He's off on his ship, sets into port on an island, assumedly Hawaii.
Two.
Two. He finds a woman, and he's like immediately obsessed with her, and he starts following around, kind of stalking her.
Kills a guy.
We're getting there. He like follows her. She goes to this masquerade ball where she starts dancing with someone else, and that shakes him to his core. He is like devastated, and he basically goes on the whole "if I can't have you, no one can." Then that's Act 1.
And he kills the guy.
Then he kills the guy and her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's Murders. And then track 6. Honestly, I don't know what that has to do with the story, but based on where the story jumps in between those two, my guess is that that's where the police arrest him, put him in jail. The Mind Electric, it's actually the most straightforward song as to what it means. It's his trial. You hear the judge and you hear him give testimony. And then they eventually do, this is like set like way back in the early 1900s. They do electric shock therapy trying to cure him. That's why it sounds like that.
Classic.
And then Labyrinth, I believe in the story, it's like he's like trying to escape all these like procedures and tests they're doing on him. They're giving him all these like drugs and stuff, trying to pump him to fix him, and he's feeling like a lab rat. So it's like a maze,
Fun.
it's a little that thing. Time Machine, I think, is like him seeing all of his memories before he dies, because that's what Stranded Lullaby is. They eventually either, I can't figure out if they execute him or if he just eventually overdoses or dies from treatment. And Dream Suite in C Major is him reuniting with the girl he obsessed with in the afterlife or whatever. So that's probably just his perspective. I don't think he actually did that, or that she would even want to do that. But that's the basic story, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I'm. It's not like, it's definitely not perfect, but I do like it a lot. I think that it does some cool things that I've frankly never heard before, and I don't know, just cool sounds.
Very cool sounds. Yeah, I didn't hear anything like super innovative or anything, but like for 2012, for what they're doing, it's very much quality.
Mm.
And I think this kind of bubble of people starting to go to online platforms like YouTube and stuff and really making creative effort videos. Not two guys sitting in front of a camera doing this,
Yeah.
but like thought out written script before money was even an idea. That's kind of like this golden era of that, and I kind of get that from this, where it's got that homemade quality, where they're making strong attempts at things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, it's weird. I don't know why they took like such a long break between this and Joe Hawley. I don't know what they did between then. But frankly, I haven't done a deep dive on him, so whatever. I will say that there was some happenings going on this Spotify page recently. Variations on a Cloud, which is the single that is on the page, was recently, I think it was like August 14th, taken off of Spotify and all streaming services. And then it was added back again on September 11th of this year. The song is about 9/11, so I think that's why they did that.
No, that makes sense with the main album since it came out on December 12th, 2012. So
Yeah.
he just missed his window the first time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think he did it a little bit purposefully because it's the 20th anniversary.
True.
Wanted to do something. But honestly, that song is better than maybe like half of the stuff that's on here. So I would recommend listening to it. That one actually has Rob Cantor on it, another member from Tally Hall. One you might actually be familiar with. He did the Cannibal Shia LaBeouf video. That's Rob Cantor.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that wraps up our reaction and discussion on Hawaii Part 2. We got to spin a wheel.
Wheel.
Wheel. Let me
We
switch.
have a really good time.
I'm going to cut that out.
Dang.
Should probably note that we replaced Hawaii Part 2 with Doggy Style by Snoop Doggy Dogg.
I feel like we need to get Fuji's out of here since
That's
it's been
true.
since day one, and we are now in like 6 months later, 5 months later.
Yeah. I think
something like
we
that.
still have a couple day ones. We got Angelic to the Core,
Oh yeah.
Walking Man, Fuji's, and Commons B.
Oh yeah, that's been on there forever too.
we got a lot to get picked. I'm hoping for one of those. Not that one. Frick. I thought that was going to be Angelic to the Core finally.
I did too, actually.
Well,
Well, you had your week of fun, or your episode of fun.
we're back to you.
Well, join us next time for JPEG Mafia's Veteran. There's gonna be a lot of crossover audience here.
Yep.
Great. This will be the most pain Jerry has been in, and probably will be in a reaction episode. So if you like that kind of stuff, then stay tuned.
I don't.
Yeah, I feel like we might pull Bab Jeb in for that one,
Okay. That could be
just
fun.
because, like, this is gonna be more off the wall than Gex.
I mean, I'm familiar with the JPEG Mafia.
Yeah, but you're not familiar with this album.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I was, we had Yeezus, and I'm like, ooh, we have to go through that, and then we got this one, and then we'll just crank it up by 10, and then Veteran is the play. I have not listened to it in a while, so
Okay.
I'm prepared to witness it again. But stay tuned for that.
This is some weird sequencing. We just
Very weird sequence.
just listen
Yes.
to Yeezus. We have one thing that I'm super excited about, and then we got another one that's just gonna smash.
Well, the
me
people
in the
that watch
ground.
Jesus will watch the next one.
Well,
so
that's true.
at least we got some recent albums coming next to each other that have some crossover. So
Well, there we go.
Aloha.
Can't cut my arm off.
I'll put some flower necklaces on us. It'll be super cute.
They're called Lays.
Sorry. Potato chips?